It seems like the richest interests are up against our interests, doesn't it? And it's not really a fair fight. I mean, the banks alone give $5 billion a year to politicians' campaign funds and hire an army of lobbyists outnumbering Congress 5 to 1 to relay a litany of demands. The elitist media definitely doesn't have our backs. The people with all the money have pretty much all the power, even though we know that just because they're rich doesn't mean they're necessarily the most qualified leader. But maybe we haven't had much in the way of options, because whenever anyone's criticized the love of and overdependence on money, people will say, well, what's the alternative? Some socialist utopian system? And no one's really had a viable response until now. I've discovered a way that we could use concepts from online personal profiles and video games to create a new kind of website, a new kind of currency, and a way we could take the next big leap in democracy. We could take a health bar or meter from video games like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter and put it on something like a Facebook profile. There'd be vote up and vote down options on posts and comments. If your post voted up, your health bar will go up. If they're voted down, your health bar will go down. If you vote on something, it's like an investment. If you vote something up and people after you vote it up, your health bar will go up. But if they vote it down, your health bar will go down. Each section of your profile will be fully customizable. Favorite pics and vids, music, movies, TV shows, books, magazines, sports, etc. So you could have huge sections for favorite vids and pics and music, and smaller sections for the others. So even with a cursory glance, people will be able to tell what's important to you. People get trophies and accolades for a wide assortment of accomplishments, like getting a certain amount of friends or reactions to posts or sharing a certain amount of posts, etc. The trophies and badges would be displayed next to the person's health bar and profile picture. Facebook is actually giving people badges for various accomplishments, which is a concept used in video games. And you can create a second page on Facebook for a business where you can see graphs tracking your long-term progress like a stock ticker. So Facebook is already using concepts from video games and our currency, but not nearly to the extent I'm talking about. I know that on our side, the people's side, there are a lot of stigmas when it comes to the internet and video games. And yet, despite all of the negativity and ignorance in the media, the internet and video games are huge and could be way bigger. 3 of the big 4 are internet-based companies, and the 4th, Walmart, is becoming more and more internet-based every day. And the game Grand Theft Auto 5 shattered 7 media sales records, bringing in $1 billion in its first 3 days of sales. We shouldn't be asking ourselves, how can we stop people from playing video games? We should be asking how we can incorporate more concepts that help video games be so successful into more of our lives, at school, at work, in our social lives. We could use concepts from video games which use concepts from economics, like the principle of diminishing return. In economics, it'd be like if a person was investing in advertising. The more that they invest, the more advertising could increase their profits to a certain point. But when a market is oversaturated, the person would see less and less return for their investment, the point of diminishing return. Or in terms of video games, it'd be like in Super Mario, if a player stays in the same spot and a turtle keeps respawning, they'll get less and less points for smashing the same turtle, encouraging the player to move forward in the game. In this website, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, like posting selfies or trolling in people's comments, you'll get less and less XP or experience points for votes up on those kinds of posts, which will encourage users to diversify. Users can also prestige and level up when they fill up their health bar. Their health bar will be displayed next to their name, and the color will change as users level up. So everyone would have a quick, very easy to read assessment of how people are doing. But, and most importantly, they can also take a deeper look and better look at people. Like, I wouldn't look good on paper based on the way society assesses people these days. I probably wouldn't even look good in this website at first glance. But like Facebook today, when I do come across interested parties, I could show them a long, detailed history of my life as posted in the profile that would give them a completely different idea of who I am as a person. Unlike Facebook though, this website would have overviews of people's interactions online and comprehensive breakdowns, so I wouldn't have to give people tours of my profile. They could click through and see it on their own without having to try to comb through years and years of posts and irrelevant information. This is a website for people like me that need to take a deeper look at people and have an easy way for people to take a deeper look at them. And I myself love finding new and different ways to connect with people everywhere I go, at the grocery store, at work, or literally wherever, and then try to get to know them on a deeper level. It can be really hit or miss though. It's a practice skill for sure. But with this website, I can see people meeting way more often than they currently do. It'd be about 1 billion times easier probably. They could be at like a bus stop or an airport or a water cooler, and they could unlock their phones, go to a handshaking app, tap their phones together, and the other person's profile would pop up. You could quickly see TV shows that they're watching, or their favorite music, or recent posts or top posts, and very easily start a conversation that could bloom into a friendship or broaden your network of associates. With this website, it'd take less time and effort to see more pertinent and relatable information about a person or company. Nowadays, with the populations booming, we often find ourselves having to try to sift through large numbers of people very quickly. So pretty much everyone thinks they can only take the time and effort to assess people based on surface level stuff, like their clothes, cars, houses, neighborhoods they live in, degrees. It's difficult to convince everyone it's worth it to take a deeper look at people. We definitely need new, healthier ideas of what success is. Now, it could be kind of ugly at first. The internet is definitely going through growing pains, but I strongly believe the moderates who make up the majority will celebrate diversity and search for variety, challenges, and debate. They'll have a medium they can finally use to find people that think differently than they do, people that it helps stretch them and teach them new things. And they can confront ideas and ideologies they don't agree with much more easily than they've ever been able to before. And really, a majority of the negatives people see online today are a direct result of principles trickling down from the top of governments and corporations ruling the world in the beginning of this 21st century, and then the media sensationalizing extreme ideologies. As a wise man once said, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And everyone seems so damn patient with this idea of money, you know? We're at a precipice. Whether you know it or not, our decisions will have huge impacts on the future. If we don't do something drastic, we'll be the generation that sees the end of the American generation or American dream. This isn't someone else's fight. This is our fight. In a time when the world is going through drastic educational, economic, and cultural changes, this website will provide serious, competitive compensation for people to interact online. It'll bring all types of people together and help them build meaningful connections. Responsible participation will help mass culture swat away false information and help clean up the online ecology. We won't have to overly rely on a centralized power like the Ministry of Truth out of the book 1984 to tell us what information is reliable. We won't have to rely on a small, easily bribed or coerced group of people or some AI bot to censor us because those in power deem us too sensitive to filter through reality. This website will finally help the people get organized and give us a voice. We'll be able to look at a post or idea and see our reactions quantified in a completely unbiased platform for all time. We'll need to elevate to something like citizen critics though, but we can all aspire to do this and it'll happen organically. As a society, we'll need to have a lot less answers and many more questions. We'll need to become student teachers, students first and then teachers. The internet could yet prove to be redemptive for democracy. So at the corporate end, what could be keeping them from making a site like this is, to me, pretty suspect. In conclusion, I'll tell you that despite all the growing pains, I worry way more about where humanity's been headed since before video games and the internet myself. But hey, maybe those in power won't resort to using some extreme method of population control. Maybe we'll start to hear the voices of the people and give them their due consideration. Maybe we'll look at people more deeply rather than just seeing them for what's on the surface, without the use of tools like the ones in this website. But as they say, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. People can dream, of course, and I have a dream, that one day people will be judged not primarily by their bloodline or ability to make money or some other superficial basis, but by the strength of their character. I want to get this website developed so it can help us get to where we'll one day soon not need it or anything like it. I want to offer people a way to broaden their horizons and maybe get them to start looking up. So I thought I'd call it Big Sky Currencies, a website of the people, by the people, and for the people. Thank you.
People stop trying to fix problems and just try to outlive them.
But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams.
People shall have the right to vote, even the stupid ones.
Yes.
Stupid people vote.
It was hard to know who was more crazy. Me or everyone else.
Am I the only one that can see the fucking sunrise here?
If I knew where to go, I'd go there.
In many ways, the work of a critic is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who offer up their work and themselves to our judgment. We thrive on negative criticism, which is fun to write and to read. But the bitter truth we critics must face is that in the grand scheme of things, the average piece of junk is probably more meaningful than our criticism designating it so. But there are times when a critic truly risks something, and that is in the discovery and defense of the new. The world is often unkind to new talent, new creations. The new needs friends.
They'll never understand that boy and his kind. All they comprehend is a fucking dollar sign.